To gather food more efficiently, this group of ants came up with all kinds of crazy ideas. They actually connected a bunch of straws together to build a transportation pipeline, planning to send endless amounts of honey straight back to their nest. One day, a duck accidentally spilled some sugar onto the ground. The sugar cubes rolled everywhere, scaring a passing little ant so badly that it hurriedly ran away. Seeing this, the duck quickly bent down and signaled that the ant could give it a try. After tasting, the little ant immediately asked the duck for a sugar cube, planning to carry it back to share with his friends. Soon, the ant returned to the nest carrying a cube of sugar. The captain listened carefully as the ant explained where it came from. When he heard the duck had even more delicious food at home, he immediately gave out the signal, preparing to lead the entire ant army out on a treasure hunt for food. Meanwhile, the duck suddenly realized what he had done. He figured that giving sugar to the ants might end up attracting more ants to raid his kitchen, so he quickly rushed outside to check. Sure enough, a massive ant army was marching toward his house. The duck instantly panicked. He hurried back into the kitchen and secretly hid his honey jars inside a cabinet. Just to be safe, he sealed every crack and gap in the house. He even blocked the fireplace tightly with red bricks. After finishing all the defenses, the duck hid by the window and secretly observed the ants outside. When the ants suddenly disappeared, he thought he was safe. So, he opened the door to get the mail outside. After closing the door, he realized it was just an ordinary advertisement flyer. Thinking it was useless, he casually tossed it onto the table. What he never expected was that the flyer was actually the ants' disguise. They secretly sneaked into the house. Soon, the ants quickly discovered that the duck was baking a delicious cake. They immediately spread the news to all their companions. Instead of charging in and stealing, the ants used a distraction tactic. They turned on the radio to get the duck's attention. While the duck was distracted, the ants secretly carried away the entire cake piece by piece. At the same time, another group of ants discovered the duck's honey jar. They immediately grabbed hollow biscuits and connected them into a pipeline, linking the cabinet directly to the ant nest to transport the honey. Seeing this, the duck became furious. He quickly came up with a plan. He placed an empty vase in the middle of the pipeline to intercept the honey halfway through. The ant soon noticed something strange with the pipeline. He immediately crawled inside the tube and ran through it to investigate the problem. Only then did he discover that the duck had tampered with the pipeline. The ant immediately rushed back to the cabinet to report the news. At that point, the ants stopped pretending anymore. They simply moved the entire honey jar directly to their teammates and made a fast escape. The duck tried to stop them but failed. The ants had already figured out his tricks and easily escaped with a few clever moves. Completely enraged after being outsmarted, the duck saw the ants entering the garage and suddenly had another bold plan. He viciously filled the honey jar with gas and threw it inside. What he didn't know was that the ants saw everything. When the duck excitedly opened the door, he was horrified to discover that the pipeline was actually connected to the car's fuel tank. The next second, the garage exploded and the ducky was instantly blasted into the sky. In the end, the ants successfully transported the entire jar of honey back to their nest.